Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to the Execute Regardless podcast. My name is Callum Roche. I'm the CEO and founder of Winners Win. If you don't know who I am, I would recommend either watch the previous episodes or Google it. Pretty simple. If you're coming back for the second, third time or you're a fucking loyal listener, let's fucking go. I appreciate you. I have an interesting one for you today, boys. Today we're going to talk about the inverse of what we usually talk about. For anyone who hasn't listened before, this podcast is solely about putting yourself in the best position to win so you can execute regardless of the circumstances, because that's what makes the difference between winning and losing. There is no fucking secret, right? If you're still going around right now thinking there's a fucking secret that's stopping you from getting what you want, that's making your come up so fucking hard, that's loser behavior. Right? The reason why winners win is because they have the ability to execute regardless of circumstances. They recognize that there is no secret, that it's on them, that they're the fucking variable, right? That's a synopsis of what this is about. And this podcast is solely dedicated to providing you with the fundamental strategies, not the fucking tactics, but the fundamental strategies to put you in the best position to win. So you can get what you want. You don't have to leave shit to chance anymore, right? You can stack the odds and increase the likelihood of the outcome. That's what this is about. But the funny thing is about this episode is we're going to do the complete fucking opposite today. Today we're going to study losers. Today we're going to dive deep into the mentality of a fucking loser. We're going to go do loser 101, and I'll tell you why. I always say the easiest way to win is knowing how not to lose. If you want to win, you need to understand what not to do, right? And I was very fucking good at losing for years. And now, because I spent so much time being a fucking loser, I can see the behavior a mile away. And the other day I was making a list and I said, you know what? I'm going to compile a fucking list. The list was way too long. There was like 25 things on it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a podcast this week and we're going to talk about the 9 ways to lose by default. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, that might sound counterproductive, but you have to realize that's important. We must understand how the loser thinks. We must understand how the loser behaves, so we know not what to do. Sorry, I'm terrible if that sentence was butchered. Right? So basically we can avoid doing what they do because that's not the fucking outcome we want. Right? So in this episode, we're not talking about how to stack the odds in your favor. We're talking about how to stack the odds against yourself. How to make sure that you don't fucking win. If you want to live a half-ass average life, you want to be miserable as fuck, I recommend you do these 9 things. That's what I recommend. Okay? Now, they're in no particular order. But what I want you to do is I want you to put your rational thinking cap on for a second, because as we go through this, to think that you can operate this way and emulate this behavior and fucking win is the most idiotic thing you could believe, right? Put your rational thinking cap on. We'll go through this and you'll realize how fucking stupid it would be to do this and then expect to win, all right? So I'll let you be the judge, but it's very important that you understand what not to do. I think I got that sentence right that time. Right, so let's get into this. We'll keep it short, sweet. There's 9 of them, right? We'll do individual fucking podcasts on all of this. But let's just go through the 9. And the first one is, I would wait on perfect. If I wanted to lose, if I wanted my life to be miserable, if I wanted to never get what I wanted, you know what I'd do? I would continue looking out the fucking window. I would continue searching externally for an answer that doesn't fucking exist. And I would probably waste a good 10, 15, 20 years. In fact, I could waste my whole life looking anywhere but my fucking self. That's what I would do. I would wait on perfect, right? I would wait on the external to just hand it to me, for it to fall into my lap, right? I wouldn't start my business until I had the right amount of money, until the risk was 0. I wouldn't ask that girl out. In fact, I'd probably wait on that girl to ask me out. I wouldn't work hard in my job. I'd just wait on my boss to promote me, right? That's what I do. I wouldn't have intention at all. I would live my life on fucking autopilot, and I would just assume that the fairies were going to bring down what I wanted and just serve it to me on a fucking plate. That's what I would do, right? If I wanted to win, however, what I would do is I'd put my fucking rational thinking cap on And I'd execute regardless of the circumstances. If I fucking, by the way, I just want to, people talk about, it just came to my mind now, people talk about this whole thing of good things come to those who wait. That is the fucking most idiotic, stupid statement that I've ever heard in my entire life. Good things come to those who fucking wait. You know what? Maybe I should get winner's win removed off my arm, and I should get good things come to those who wait on my arm. What do you reckon? Rather than, I was actually thinking about getting execute regardless, which is the fucking inverse of that, right? Wait on perfect. Wait on someone to come save you. Maybe I'll write on my arm, somebody's coming. Maybe I'll get that tattooed on my arm. Perfect is coming. Good things come to those who wait. This is the fucking bullshit that they put in the books like The Secret. They have a book called The Secret, right? The fucking secret. If you sit there and you pray, you just keep doing your affirmations, it'll all come, right? I didn't even fucking read the book, to be honest. Anything that has The Secret on it, fuck that shit. From what I have heard, though, the one thing that it does lack is the fucking name of this podcast. It doesn't talk about the ability to execute regardless, putting yourself in a position to win and stacking the odds. No. Continue looking out the fucking window for the next 50 years, right? Double down. When you start to get pissed off and you don't get what you want, what I do then, if you really want to lose, I would double down on the quest. And I wouldn't value my time on this planet. I would just refuse to look anywhere but myself, and I would blame the external for everything. And I would just wait and wait until I fucking died. Best way to lose. Right? You think that's a good idea? Do you think it's a good idea if you want to win, to sit around waiting on that perfect moment? Do you think that's a good idea? Honestly, answer yourself. Don't be fucking stupid, man. Don't be stupid. Number 2. This is brilliant. This is one of the most common ones that I see online, which is people focusing on what to do rather than who do I need to become. The question isn't what do I need to do. The question is who the fuck do I need to become to get what I want as a byproduct. That's the way the world works. But no, if I was a loser, which I once was, right, the way I would see the world is I would refuse to look at it through a physics lens, okay? I would more so look for a quick fix, for a hack. I wouldn't focus on developing my character. I wouldn't focus on leveling up mentally, physically. I wouldn't level up my skills. I wouldn't focus on the fundamentals. I wouldn't see the world the way Isaac Newton said it, which is every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And if I just become a person worthy of this, I will get this. The way Charlie Munger, the renowned business partner of Warren Buffett, said it. To get what you want, you must deserve what you want. The world is not yet a crazy enough place to reward a whole bunch of undeserving people, right? I would refuse to look at the world that way. And I would say, you know what? The world is crazy enough. The world is crazy enough to reward an undeserving person, right? That's what I would do. I would focus on the what. I would continue looking for a quick fix, a short-term tactic that's going to go outdated, rather than focusing on the fucking person and becoming worthy of it and paying the fucking price. Which leads me to number 3. I would carry a sense of entitlement. I would refuse to believe that everything is earned, right? I would refuse to pay the price. I would want new results. This is the funny thing. This is the funny thing about losers. I would want new results, but I would refuse to recognize that I'm already producing results. So if I was overweight, or if I was broke, or if I couldn't get a girl, or my fucking family life was shit, or I was a terrible dad, I would refuse to accept that I produced that result, right? And that's the fucking key here. You got to accept that you're producing results every day, right? You're just not producing the results that you want, right? You're already fucking good. You can produce. You're a producer, man. You're producing results right now, just not the results that you want. You have this sense of entitlement. You think that you're just entitled to it, right? You're paying a price right now. They say that everybody is self-made, but only the rich will admit it. You're self-made. Everything you have right now, you're self-made. You paid that price. You got what you fucking deserve, like Charlie Munger said, right? You're entitled to fucking nothing. The world owes you nothing. But that's how a loser would think. That's the way a loser would think, right? Do you think it would be a good idea? Do you think if you want to win, you should go around with that attitude? Do you think you have a good chance at winning if you just think, you know what, man, I'll show up. Think about this. I'll show up to work for half the month, but then I'll ask my boss for a full month's pay. Think about that. I'm going to show up to work for half the month and I'm going to expect a full month's pay. That's the way people are going on in fucking life right now. They're doing half the fucking work and expecting a full month's pay. They're half-assing everything and they're expecting to live a life that only someone at 100% would live. Come on, don't be fucking stupid. Number 4. I love this one. If I wanted to lose by default, right, and live an average, miserable fucking life, I would rely on hope. I would refuse to see the world and life as a beautiful gift that we get for 80 to 100 years, and that I wouldn't look at my family, I wouldn't look at everything that's important to me, I wouldn't internalize that importance. And what I would do is I would leave the trajectory of my life and their lives down to chance, down to luck, down to other people, in fact. I'd leave it down to the external. I wouldn't see the importance of stacking the odds, okay, increasing the likelihood. I would leave it all down to chance, and I would hand over power to the external. Essentially, I would depend on other people. I would live life by default. I wouldn't do it by design. And I'd just say, you know what, it is what it is. I'd have a very ungrateful and a very autopilot attitude to life, okay? Whereas on the other hand, do you not think it would be a good idea? Okay, winning has no guarantees, but we can stack the odds. We can increase the likelihood of the outcome. In fact, I believe that, number 1, we're here for a very short time. Number 2, we work too hard. Number 3, we risk too much to leave it down to chance, to leave it down to luck, to not stack the odds in our favor, to fucking have people bet on us, to have people count on us, to be the one who was possibly chosen to change things, right? People are fucking counting on you, and you're going to leave it down to chance. You're not going to stack the odds and put yourself in the best position to win, to execute regardless. You're going to say, no, you know what? I don't want to be self-sufficient. I want to depend on others. Yeah, we'll just go with the flow. What do you think? You think that'd be a good idea? Bro, come on. Right? How idiotic is this bullshit? This is the way losers think. How fucking idiotic is this? Number 5. This one is like an immediate failure. You are losing. This next one, you immediately lose if you fucking do this, which is dip your toe in the water. There's a great quote in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is, the man who's willing to stake his entire fortune on the single turn of a wheel is sure to win. Something along those lines. Meaning, those who are willing to go all in, burn the fucking boats, they're the ones who win. And that's the truth. The price of winning is 100% and nothing less. In fact, you get punished. I always say you get punished for anything less than 100%. So when you're fucking dipping your toe in the water, you've got plan A, B, C, D, E, F, fucking G. You think you're actually going to win. Oh, you know what? We'll try plan A. We'll give plan A a go, and if it doesn't work, you know what? It doesn't matter because we've got plan A, B, C, and fucking D. Bro, you're going to get steamrolled. You're never going to fucking win. First of all, winning has no guarantees. The price is 100%. You get punished for anything less. Right? Dipping your toe in the water, living life, operating at 50% is not the fucking price. 100% is the price. But losers seem to think otherwise. Losers think that they can dabble. A fucking dabbler. Since when did a dabbler ever win big? Since when do half-assers, tell me any half-asser you know, any fucking dabbler, anyone who dipped their toe in the water and went and done something big. Do you know them? Because I don't. Can you point them out? Can you show me a fucking strategy on how to do that? Because that'd be great. Imagine a world where we didn't have to fucking put in the work. Where we didn't have to take risk. Where we didn't have to go all in. All in is the fucking price. But losers, you gotta understand the mind of a half-asser. They refuse to look at the world this way. Okay? Toe dippers. Great way to fucking lose. Number 6. One that's very important to me. Don't fuck people over. Right? If you want to lose by default, you should be a force for evil in the world. You should have no morals. You should walk around with no guiding principles, no beliefs, no values that you hold dear to your heart. You should not be a force for good in the world. You should fuck your business partner over. You should fuck your girlfriend over. You should cheat on her. You should not provide for your family. You should not give back to your community. You should not be a force for good. You should not acquire skills. You should acquire skills and you should use them to fucking cause devastation in the world, to fuck people over, to scam people. You would think to yourself that you can do it all alone, that people are irrelevant, that it doesn't matter. This whole lone wolf mentality, stupidest fucking shit I've ever heard. You honestly think you're going to be able to do it on your own and you can just go on whatever way you want. You can fuck people over. That is not going to come back around full circle. Are you fucking stupid? Right? Well, losers, this is the way they think. They think they can go on this way. They think that word of mouth doesn't travel. Right? They don't see cause and effect. They're fucking idiots. They're idiots. Right? Don't be a force for evil. It's a surefire way to lose. Right? By being a force for evil in the world, by having no morals, by not standing up for the right thing, by valuing money over doing the right thing, you're automatically a fucking loser. Right? Fuck all that shit. I would never trade my values for anything. I would never trade doing the right thing for any amount of money, for any material object. Fuck that shit. Don't be a sellout. Don't be a sellout. Maybe that's what we should have called that. Don't be a fucking sellout. That's what losers are. Fucking sellouts. Number 7. I would avoid the hard truths. I would refuse to accept that I was the variable in the equation. I would refuse to accept that 100% is the price that I must pay and that 50% isn't enough. I would refuse to accept everything that we just fucking spoke about. If they're listening right now, they're not going to like this. Right? I would act based off emotion. Okay? I wouldn't look at the hard truth. I wouldn't be able to take criticism. I wouldn't be able to see where I went wrong so I can use that as an opportunity to grow. I'd say, you know what, bro, fuck you. What, you saying I did something wrong? I'm perfect, bro. I'm perfect. They don't make them like me. That's the way I would think. I'd be a fucking narcissist, right? Rather than actually saying, you know what, man, I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate that, and I'm going to use that to get better. I'm going to look at things from a fucking rational standpoint. So many people I see with such high IQs, and they can't think rationally. Emotion gets in the way. They're so irrational. There's a good quote in a book. It's called The Irrational Ape. And it mentions that there's no correlation between IQ and rational thinking. And it's true. But I would refuse to look at things through a physics lens, through cause and effect. And I would let my emotion call the shots. Right? There's a surefire way to fucking lose. Hide from the truth. Where are we now? Okay, we're at number 8. Fuck, this is going fast. We're like 20 minutes in. Number 8. This is if you do number 8, by the way, just context. Every one of these is automatic, like failure, automatic loss. But how the fuck would you expect to win if you don't have a game plan? If you don't have intention? Think about this. If you're at point A and you want to get to point B and you say, you know what, I'm just going to fucking wander. I'm not going to be intentional. I'm just going to go on autopilot. I'm just going to follow others. I'm just going to follow that guy who's walking over there without questioning anything, without fucking driving this car in manual. I'm just going to leave it in automatic, fucking cruise control and go with the flow. And if the wind swings left, we're going to go left too. How the fuck do you ever expect to get what you want without a game plan, without being intentional? You stupid? Like legit, come on. Right? It's hard enough as it is. You think, like I see people going into the gym and it's actually so disrespectful to their time too. Think about this. I see so many people, they go to the gym and they're just wandering. They have no intention and they have no respect for their time. Remember, we're here for 80 to 100 years. I see people going into the gym every day, spending 1 hour there and they're just pondering. They have no fucking intention. They have no respect on their time that when they're doing a set, they're questioning, what am I actually doing here? What is my goal? What is the outcome? How can I maximize efficiency and output? There's none of this shit, right? You're just fucking watching TikToks and some bullshit, right? Letting the external dictate their path, right? And keep doing that, right? Don't have intention. If you want to lose, don't be intentional. Don't value your time. Don't use your brain. Don't have a game plan. You don't need one. You'll end up there. Perfect is coming, bro. Perfect's coming. Number 9. I only spoke about this the other day, which is I'd give a fuck what people think. That's what I would do. I would get caught up in the social competition. If I wanted to lose, I would disregard that life is a gift. Like I said, I would get caught up in the social competition. I wouldn't start my business. I wouldn't start, personally in my life, I wouldn't start my business because, I'd be afraid of, what would people think if I failed? Right? I won't ask that girl out, because I can't be rejected. My ego's too big for that. I won't take a chance on myself. Right? And I'd waste my time and I'd spend my money. If I really wanted to be miserable, if I really wanted to fuck my life up, I'd spend all my money. I'd work the whole day in a job that I hate, right? And I would take all that money and I would spend it on fucking keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with the Kardashians. I'd buy some stupid car, to try and compete with the next door neighbor. I'd spend money on clothes that I couldn't afford, right? I'd care more about what other people think, and I'd never run the show the way I wanted, okay? I would let my ego call the shots. I wouldn't live in my essence. I would let my ego dictate things. That's what I do. Now, there's a solid 9 ways for you to go and fuck up your life right now. And you know what the funny thing is? You don't even have to do all 9. You don't even have to do all 9 of them to fuck shit up. Like, each one of them, you're automatically losing by default. But if you really, really want to stack the odds against yourself, I would do all 9 together, personally. I think if you combine them, you are destined to live a fucking life that's miserable and lose. Do all 9. Now, if we just flip this on its head real quick, we go through it, because I have to bounce in a second. Got Winner's Insider call. But rather than waiting on perfect, do you think it would be a good idea to execute regardless of the circumstances? Do you think that might help? Let's be honest about this. Do you think executing regardless of the circumstances, not waiting on perfect, right? Not waiting on somebody to come and save you, right? Rather than doing the fucking lottery every day of the fucking week or every week, whatever way they do the lottery, right? Do you not think it'd be better to place a bet on yourself, right? And just fucking start executing. Number 2, do you think if you focused on the who rather than the what, if you became someone who was deserving of that, you might fucking get some good shit as a byproduct, right? Do you think if you recognize the world for what it is, that it works based on the laws of physics? If you just look at cause and effect, you think you might have a better chance of formulating a plan, right? That it's just input, output. You think you get what you want if you do that? Number 3, you think if you started looking at the world in a way where you earn everything and you're entitled to nothing, right? That if you pay the price of 100%, you will get the reward of 100%. Do you think if you done that, right, your life would be better? Of course it fucking would. Do you think that if you recognized that we're only here for 80 to 100 years, hopefully more, do you think if you recognized and actually realized how many people are counting on you, that you would stop leaving shit to chance and you might start stacking the odds? Do you think if you put yourself in the best position to win, you might have a better chance of winning, right? If you increase the likelihood of the outcome, if you start looking at things through a process lens and optimizing each variable, you think you might have a better chance? Of course you fucking would. Of course you would. Do you think if you stopped dipping your toes in the water, do you think if you stopped doing that, do you think if you went all in, you didn't have a plan B, you didn't have a plan C, D, E, F, fucking G, do you think if you jumped in the deep end, you'd be able to swim? Is your fucking self-esteem that low? Do you think if someone threw you in the deep end, you wouldn't be able to swim? Bro, of course you would. Of course you would. You just have to take a chance on yourself. Go all in. That's what a decision is. Make a real decision, right? Cut off any other option. That's what decision means. Number 6, do you think if you're a force for good in the world, if you fucking made bold promises but you could back them up, if you delivered a great service, if you were nice to people, right? If you give, and only then fucking ask, do you think you might have a better chance of getting what you want? I think you would. I think if you start living life with strong morals, strong values, you might start attracting that back to yourself. Number 7, avoid the hard truth. Do you think if you got out of your own way, killed your fucking ego, do you think if you start looking at the world for what it is, without your emotion, you put a rational thinking cap on and actually said, you know what, man, you're right. That's a fucking good observation. I'm going to learn from that. Do you think if you fucking started, adopting that mindset where it's win or learn, right? Rather than fucking seeing it as I can never lose. Nobody fucking loses anyways. It's win or learn, right? But you need to face the hard truth. Have the hard conversations, right? Take stock of who you really are. Number 8, if you had a game plan, if you were a bit more intentional with your time, do you think if you understood, number 1, where you are, number 2, where you were going, do you think you could formulate a plan to get from point A to fucking point B? You're fucking smart enough to do that. You're smart enough to do that, right? Have a bit of intention. You might be in with a chance of winning. Number 9, if you stop giving a fuck what people think, if you killed your ego and start running the show, started living life on your terms, took the fucking costume off at the end of the day and said, you know what, I'm going to start living this the way I want. I'm only here for fucking 100 years. I'm going to fucking die anyways. Who gives a fuck? Why do I care about this bullshit? Right? Fucking using labels and materials to fill a fucking void. Something that you lack inside. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. Right? That's loser 101. There's so many more. That's just 9. We don't have much time today. But yeah, if you want to live a half-ass average life, you want to lose, do all that. Do all that. If you want to win, do the fucking complete opposite. If you do any of that, you're fucked. No chance at winning. Alright? So remember, the only difference between winning and losing is your ability to execute regardless. As well as do the best to stack the odds in your favor. Put yourself in a position to win. Right? And by doing any of these 9, there's so much more. But by doing any of these 9, you automatically lose. So listen, hope you enjoyed this one. This one was a little bit different. Obviously, it was the inverse. But maybe we'll do more random ones like this. As always, I appreciate you. Thanks for listening. My name's Callum Roche. You can connect with me on Instagram, social media, at Cal Roche. If you have an inquiry in terms of a question, we're doing a Q&A session. We've got a lot of emails. The feedback's been great. Getting some haters. Fuck it. Who gives a fuck? Losers. Half-assers. Toe dippers. Fucking idiots. So, yeah, you can reach out, Callum at executeregardless.com. That's the email for the podcast. And listen, as always, I appreciate you. More is possible. Stack the odds in your favor. Put yourself in a position to win. More is possible at 100%. All right? That's the price you got to pay. Winners win, losers lose. There is no fucking secret. I appreciate you. Until next time.